Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host who likes to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, we're up another 17 points on the S&P, up 227 on the Dow. Nasdaq's up 71, and Russell's up 10. Crude oil's up $1.26. And strangely enough, volume has picked up a little bit. Started the show yesterday, I think, with about 4 billion shares. Today, about 4.4 billion shares. So we are starting to get a little bit better volume, at least today. Of course, this is options delta neutral day. I've already run the ones that at about 1:30. I'll run them again tonight. But no one wants any risk to the downside in options. Maybe we'll show a few of them. But, sometimes the markets just decide to go, and that's it. And it doesn't matter. And everybody just keeps buying until music stops. And you don't know where that's at. We'll look at a few stocks that maybe say that the music's stopping for them, and just on a bounce that wasn't able to be held today. We'll look at some other ones out here. What can you say? Probably the biggest thing to me is the biggest disparity in the VIX since they changed the way the VIX was counted, I think, or formulated back in 2012. And it's like 10% difference. Pretty large. And I took a couple of stabs at the UVXY today. Lost, 10 cents or 15 cents the first time and a nickel the second time. Didn't catch it. It's continuing to slide lower. But it does show you that we're probably in some level of euphoria in the market. Euphoric markets, 1999 from about halfway through the year to the end was nothing but euphoric. Could we point to conditions that would cause that? Not exactly sure. Free money everywhere doesn't seem to be that. I mean, you got to have more money. Fed pumping it in, going straight into the stock market. I don't know. Got to figure out exactly what's going on. Eventually, doesn't matter if it's tomorrow or 5 minutes from now or 10 years from now, eventually the music does stop and the markets do price in stuff. It's just the market's extremely rich right now with what we've seen in earnings over the last couple of months. You're basically talking at the very high end of price earning multiples. Doesn't mean that they can go extremely higher. And, of course, we see poster boys for this in stocks like Tesla, which is down a measly $3 today. But we'll be looking at those and some other stuff out here. But if you have any questions, give me a call, 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can actually put a message in the den. Okay. What else do we have here? Okay. Well, why don't we just start looking at some charts, because that's what I've been looking at. I've actually been looking at options for the last hour. Probably the one that interests me most is Micron Technology. It broke through the previous January 23rd high. That had 26 million shares. You had 35 million shares already today as it broke through there and pulled back. Had some interesting questions yesterday about Samsung versus Apple and all that. And I have to say that there is a tale of two cities here, in that Samsung builds everything in Korea, South Korea to be exact. And, of course, most everything else is assembled in China. So if the coronavirus shuts down just about everything in China, you're still going to be able to get your Samsung phone. The difference is Samsung makes its own memory and doesn't use microns. And I think that kind of points to maybe why we see a lot of give back today on Micron. But Qualcomm has had its nice little pop, and it's held it. The difference in Qualcomm, just not that much juice today, 5.5 million shares. And that's breaking through this 14 million share day on February 5th. So as we get up here, we've got a lot of momentum. A lot of these stocks don't have a lot of juice, and we're going to look at that. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, just going back in here. Okay. The other thing I wanted to get to is someone asked a question about fuel cells versus solar in the backup energy field. Fuel cells or batteries in EV cars. Just asking me what I thought. We'll talk about that in the next segment because it'll probably take a little bit. I'm trying to see if there's anything else out here. That's kind of it at the moment. So let's go through some of the usual suspects. Microsoft was the weak sister yesterday. It continues to stay above the 3x3. It did pierce it earlier in the day and then reverse up. And, of course, really any lower close than about 186 in the next few days would suggest it's going back to 178. What else do we have? A question on Boeing. I think we can get this in. Up today, again, you had the big volume day back on the 6th. You're back up above previous highs that had almost 10 million shares. You're up with 3 million shares today. Just fairly rarefied air for a lot of these stocks that have bounced. This one actually has a fairly decent, thought it had a decent retracement pattern. Maybe if I go longer, there it is. And there are a couple of nice patterns out here that set the high in that at about 354 to 357. So maybe another $10 higher for a bounce. You're basically getting into a high volume down day and a gap here, but you could still get, I'm sure everybody's shorting the living daylights out of it. I'm sure you could pop into that. But there's that confluence level between 357 and 354. If you were going to short this thing, that would be it. I wouldn't be short it beyond that. And really, I wouldn't be short it at all because the chances of one day waking up and them saying they're back in the air is probably going to mean that the Dow is going to be up 500 points that day. And why that may not hold, that would probably be the time to think maybe 2 or 3 days after that about shorting it after you get all of that back in it. But you never can tell. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1912, the last emperor of China is forced to abdicate following the Republican Revolution. A provisional government was established in his place, ending 267 years of the rule of his family and 2,000 years of imperial rule. The former emperor, only 6 years old, was allowed to keep up his residence in Beijing's Forbidden City. Very good movie on this if you've never seen it. It kind of tells you a lot about how China actually operates. Probably the more interesting part is after, of course, he's 6 years old, he ends up being able to live for 20 some odd years until the Second World War. Then he's accused of being a tool of the Japanese. He's put into a labor camp for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years or something. And then thrown out on his keister without a dime. Ended up spending the last of his years working on small engines. I don't know, cutting lawnmowers, that kind of stuff. Maybe they're used for other stuff over there. But start off at the top, go all the way to the bottom. I guess he's probably pretty lucky to get out of any kind of penal system the Chinese ever had. But on this day in 1912, good movie though, The Last Emperor of China, if you get a chance to see it. And what else do we have? Oh, we wanted to go looking at charts. Yep, Mr. VIX is not doing well here. Okay, what were we going to talk? Oh, I was going to talk about fuel cells. What is it? Is it FUEL? Is that it? There's like an ETF of this stuff somewhere. Can't remember what it is now. Anyway, the question about whether fuel cells or solar cells are what's the future of storage, batteries, that kind of stuff. Still way up in the air. Nobody's found something that is cheaper than actually generating the power when you need it. And in fact, the way that they do that today, is going ahead. Yeah, I know I've got the Boeing chart up there. I don't have anything else to show. What am I supposed to do? I don't have a fuel cell chart. There isn't one. So anyway, I can give you a blank screen, but I can't give you anything else. Anyway, my producer is chiming in. So, anyway, back to the rest of it. The actual best way to store up energy is to pump water to a higher level and let that water come back down. And that's the way it's done anywhere at all possible. So that if you need a little bit more power, you just open up that spigot for water you pumped up maybe the night before. Or even at the hour before, it doesn't really matter. But they're always running those things kind of at a standard level. When there's extra power, they use that to pump water up to a reservoir and then use a turbine, just like a dam, to generate it when it comes back down. My thought is that that's what all that should be done. That should be done. You should, and the problem is no one wants to have a giant water tower in the backyard, or be looking at them all over the place like giant mushrooms all over the city. But right now, that is the most efficient way of storing energy. And what else? That's pretty much it. Still working on batteries, but nowhere there. And, of course, their limited lifespan means that you have a lot of problems because they don't stand up. But far from that. Now, fuel cells, very interesting in Japan. They've committed to that. But not a lot of progress so far over there. My thought would be that they've got, or they believe they have, some decent catalyst for making fuel cells run without platinum, gold, or a minimum of it. But as gold continues to go higher over the years, always seems to be rather a problem, basing on some of the most expensive metals in the world. Okay. We talked about a few stocks. We looked at Microsoft. Let's take a quick look at some of the other big leaders of the market. Continue to go up a little bit higher today on Amazon, but so far no juice. 2.3 million shares. We didn't hear yesterday's high that had 5.7 million shares, and of course, 2.4 million shares so far. So fairly quiet. Take a quick look at Netflix. Same thing, just kind of hanging at the highs. There's a gap up at about 385. That looks like that is the next level, unless you get some kind of reversal signal on Netflix. Take a quick look at Disney. We were talking about this one. It just not a whole lot out here. It did come back down to the 135 area, which had a nice confluence level. It bounced off that, reversed off it, but now just going sideways. So not a lot to read out of that one. Quantum computing equities. Well, there are no quantum computing equities. There's a lot of people talking about it. There's one company that's selling them. Other than that, there aren't any quantum computing equities. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, IBM is not selling one. The only company that has sold one is a company out of Canada called D-Wave. Everybody else may have prototypes, but no one's actually got anything anybody bought, at least that we know of. Maybe someone's selling them to the government or the NSA, but certainly nobody's selling them. The biggest problem is software. How do you program these things? IBM Turn IP. What's Turn? Let's see, we got something on that. The biggest thing is writing software for it now. 180-degree capital turn. See what the profile says on this one. There just isn't anything out there. There may be companies developing stuff. There are a whole bunch of companies in the prototype stages. Well, according to this, they are active in activism, 180-degree capital. So I don't see anything in that one. IP, something in that. International paper. Oh, intellectual property. Okay. But anyway, if you want to, you can actually try to write programs for both IBM's D-Waves, and even Microsoft has a simulator for the quantum computing. But man, this is kind of like saying in 1950 you wanted a computer. Yeah, could you buy one? Yeah, it was miserably hard to program them. They were fairly limited. You really got to know what you're going to do. Now, could you build one just to break codes? I think you probably could, but it's not a general purpose kind of thing. It may be a one problem machine. Be back in a minute.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Yeah, just about everybody is involved in quantum computing to one part. I want to say, what is the bluffs just north of L.A. that everybody wants to live in, that with all the billion-dollar homes? I'll think of it in a minute. But there's a college up there, and Microsoft ended up, I think, pretty much buying the college to get to this one professor who's kind of like a genius in that stuff. I've seen a lot of other people. Google actually bought two of the first quantum computing platforms from D-Wave, and now they're making their own chips. And even the thing from D-Wave it's more kind of an approximator than an actual solution engine, but it still works very well. If you can get 95 or 98% of the way there, then maybe you can solve the rest of it with a classical computer once you get close. Kind of watching a few things. Like I said today, Micron is interesting to me as it popped to 61.19. It's down about 59.49. But a lot of these SMHs may be finding probably within a couple of percent of their high. Once you get into, of course, options expiration, if you don't fail today, rather spectacularly, generally you look at a market that can go even higher. Let's take a look at the SMHs real quick. Well, you're back into 5 million shares with 2 million shares today in the SMHs so far anyway. That was rolled over at 150.74. You got to 151.14. 2.2 million shares so far. So again, there's a lot of that. Energy wasn't as strong on the way back up as the way it came back down. But at this point, it's all about momentum. And while you did have kind of a nice little pullback, the last couple of days popped back up. And maybe it is just as simple as the Fed is not going to stop pushing money into the markets. And we should just all get on board until the market drops 20% one day. Eventually it will do that. But you just never know when that's going to be. But for the life of me, I can't imagine the Fed wanting this to continue for any other reason other than right now, maybe trying to make sure that we don't go back into a recession based on how bad China's doing with all the other stuff. But you never know. Question about VNQ. I had a position in that, looked like it was going to fail, got out of it, the next day, basically flat. I think that was on Friday. You're up now. Pullback would take you to about 92, 93, mid 92s to 93. But nothing in a little volume in this today. Should be decent. My guess is that it will hit 100 now. What else do we have? DDD, one of the bigger winners today. Nice little pop. Let's turn off this stuff so I can see a little bit better here. Nice pop, but again, not a lot of juice in this one today, 1.6 million shares. That's about half of the volume back on the 5th. So you're going into that high, 3 million shares. Previous high on that had 3 million shares. And like I said, today you got 1.6 million shares. So let's say 2.1 million shares by the end of the day. That would be very nice. You could be fairly close to a breakout. Maybe the volume comes out after you break out. What else do you have? Question about Avalara, AVLR. This is the company that takes care of all the tax implications of tariffs, not terrorists, tariffs around the country, hanging at its highs. Again, just kind of going sideways at these levels, but you are pretty close to the highs. Microsoft down 59 cents. Adobe, we look at that. Did I bring that up already? ADBE. Just nothing on that that says it's pulling back right now. One of the other companies I talked about early last year was DocuSign. This came back and tested 72. It's done nothing but go straight up. But, man, the volume's been thin the last 4 or 5 days. Keys is up $2. But at this point where you're shipping products, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of people buying new Keysight equipment. I don't know if this is a short candidate or not. Certainly, you had the big down day on the 29th of January. Came down with 3.4 million shares. You're up into that candle with 882,000 shares. But I have a feeling that's kind of the big move is over in that one. What else do we have? I haven't looked at this one for a while. It looked like a fairly good play early on, but never really did much. Did finally base out at $17.71. This is SailPoint Technologies. Kind of came down today, but it's still holding 25. At one point, this thing looked fairly decent. Let's get this one a little bit more. That buy would have been down to probably, I don't know if you could have bought it at 1771 without the test of the June 6th low at 1663, but went up to $27. There's a few of these stocks that should have done a lot better in security and just really haven't. Of course, you always want to look at the ETF in HACK, H-A-C-K, yeah. Just no juice in this really either. And it's such a slow-moving ETF that it kind of bothers me. Question about what I think is happening in gold. Well, it certainly has held up well, considering that the dollar keeps on blowing higher. That is probably a risk factor in the market as the market whistles by the graveyard. We're up almost 30 cents on the dollar today, 98.89 right now. And you got to figure that within a dollar of $100, that psychologically that's where it's going to run. But the market totally ignoring that, worried about exports, except when the dollar goes higher. Totally not worried about the exports then, which it kind of finds a little bit weird on that to me. Question on Gush and the reversal on this. Well, you had the numbers come out at 10:30, so everybody was kind of pushing it. Man, you got a lot of volume out here. That's what you got to say mostly. We'll be back in a minute. You still have plenty of time to give me a call. 877-927-6648.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the tax opportunity zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which should you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we were looking at Gush here. I don't think there was a whole lot else. I wanted to look at some other stuff I had in a list. So let's do that. I looked at Boeing. I wanted to look at Home Depot. That was kind of hanging out here. Again, no volume last 4 days in Home Depot as it went above the November 18th high. That was 237.79 with almost 6 million shares yesterday, 2.7 million shares today, about 2.3 million shares so far. But again, no real juice in that. It's become a fairly thin market. Paylocity, I don't see much in that one. Royal Gold actually held up fairly well for the dollar being as strong as it has been in the last week or so, and challenging 100. Kind of down on light volume today. It's kind of a tough play. It's one of the best holding instruments as the markets go higher, but I hadn't really given any signal to say pull the trigger on it yet. ZG, which is Zillow Group, has been hitting these highs again. Very light volume, $50.99 back on July 10th of 2019. It got about half that yesterday, a little less than half a million shares at 51.55. So you got up there today. You're at $50.85. So you could conceivably close below that July 10th high. Energy off this last leg was not exciting at all on Zillow Group. We looked at lumber liquidators, looked at Home Depot, Bed Bath and Below. Back, this one it's got the loser horn for the day, I think. Right? Well, you're back down into this gap higher with, what is that? Back on the October the 10th. Gapped higher in 52 million shares, back down into that with 63 million shares today. I don't see how this ever changes for retail. I mean, you may get these bounces out of them, but all these things seem to be coming back to earth. To Restoration Hardware, I was short this, got out of it with the hair of my chinny chin for it ran back higher. Really looked fairly weak. Looks weak now. 243 on December 6th with 3 million shares into it today with 700,000 shares. Just a retest of the top on extremely light volume. Again, all these markets are incredibly brittle, but at the same time, so that money's got to go somewhere. After the bell tonight, I'm pretty sure we've got AMAT. Let me go and pull that back up, but I think that's what we have here. Take a quick look. Tuesday, Wednesday. Applied Materials right at the close today. It's breaking a little higher. It really hadn't had much in the way of volume, but it is kind of holding these highs into earnings. 65, 68, the high today, and about 6.4 million shares so far compared to the 8 million share down day on the 24th of January. Also going on here is Cisco, CSCO. This kind of, if you didn't know earnings tonight, you'd probably just say this looks like a big ABC on the way down. Certainly, you have to go back to the 24th of December to see any kind of significant upthrust that really had any volume follow behind it. So I don't see much in that. Also tonight, we've got NetApp, Cadence Design Systems, Marathon Oil, Cohu, Bluebird Corporation. They're a biotech, I believe. HubSpot, TripAdvisor. Let's take a quick look at Trip. TRIP. Kinross Gold at 5 o'clock. And those gold stocks don't tend to move much on earnings, though, most of the time. Tomorrow morning, we've got Alibaba, Pepsi, Waste Management, Neptune Wellness Solutions. Yeti Holdings. I haven't looked at that one for a while. TripAdvisors. A little pop out of here. I just don't know how this does any well. They do so much business in China. This thing could be the blowout. Okay. Got something else? Ray in Orlando. How you doing, Ray?
Doing good today, sir. How about you?
Another day in paradise.
That's absolutely true. I wondered if you had talked about PLT today, and if not, I'd like to get your thoughts about it.
Tom, Larry, Tom, right?
No. P, Paul, Larry, Tom.
Okay. Plantronics.
Yes, sir.
What are you thinking on this?
Well, I'm wondering if it's hit the bottom and whether or not we're just going to have to wait for one direction or the other before we find out anything.
This company, for people who don't know, that makes headsets. And when everybody's hiring in corporate America, you get a new headset because no one else wants somebody else's icky headset. And they make a bunch of money when people are hiring, and they don't when people aren't. Corporate America, pretty much well-staffed. It's a lot of the other jobs that are not. This is pulled off of $34.86 back on January 16th. You got a low in here. You really need a bunch of corporate hiring. And I'm trying to think if anybody's going to do it through the election. I think everybody's just wait until at least if it's not evident, it's mostly evident or it's done. That would be my biggest issue. You can hire a lot of people for regular kind of driving trucks and that kind of stuff, but corporate America didn't like to buy into election seasons.
Okay.
Tell they what. So that may be this already happening. I'd have to go back and look at this chart, but I kind of vaguely remember when I've looked at it before that election years aren't really good because everybody just wants to keep status quo, see the election play out, and then go forward from there. Generally, right after the election, everybody hires anyway. So I think this would be a good one to watch. Maybe it bases out across the summer, really has a nice move, goes sideways for a long time, and then look at this on the day after the elections, or maybe when everybody knows the outcome already.
All right, thanks.
You bet. We'll be back in a minute.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Basil Chapman will be hosting a 90-minute live webinar for subscribers to his daily trading service, The Opening Call, Thursday, February 13th from 4 till 5:30 p.m. Basil will host his live webinar titled The Dark Cloud Cover, an Essential Market Analysis. In this 90-minute webinar, Basil will discuss the techniques he uses when identifying market downturns using his Chapman wave, including how he uses specific ETFs like the SMH Semiconductor ETF as a canary in the coal mine leading indicator when looking for market downturns. By identifying particular weaknesses in the market technicals, Basil's able to identify the severity of the market reaction, and this is just one of many topics he'll be covering. To sign up now for the opening call, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Don't miss out on this special 90-minute live webinar with Basil Chapman, Thursday, February 13th. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And the last couple of minutes here, see if we have anything else. Question, look at IBM. Okay, and just going sideways here. I don't see anything. You get that. That goes about 15 days sideways, would be good indication that it is probably being distributed. Of course, they had a nice run when we found out that, and everybody started remembering that they had bought Red Hat. Red Hat has a lot of retail revenues, and now that that's it, it's it really didn't pump the stock when they got them, but it's kind of helping them out now. Everybody figures out that that may be the best part of the business, like PayPal was the best part of eBay, and they split off. Wouldn't be surprised, but you got the CEO leaving, and that was something. New CEO doesn't seem to be like the new CEO for Microsoft, but don't know that much about them just yet. So I don't see a lot in there to go after. If we were going to roll today, markets probably would have rolled by now. So the good question is, how quickly can they test 3,400 on the S&P cash? And literally at this point, 3,500 is not out of the woods if people just continue to drive it. As I said before, there's at some point you get into a market and it keeps going. You get a market that can do exactly what Tesla did, which is just go straight higher, irregardless of any kind of underlying value. It is just a lot of money chasing particular shares, and maybe that's what we're looking at. Party like it's 1999. So when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.